Hi everyone, it's Phil here from Ashland Leather, and I'm really excited to show you a brand new leather. This is Royal Blue Dublin from Horween, and this Royal Blue Dublin is hot off the press. We literally just got this in from Horween, and we thought it'd be a really good idea to add a couple items to the private stock that we're going to be launching right now. So everything you're about to see in the video today, including these Royal Blue Dublin wallets, are up and live right now on the website. And let's start off first here with this Royal Blue Dublin on our Capone money clip. Our Capone money clip is one of our most popular items right now, and I think it works really nicely with this brand new leather. If you're not familiar with the Dublin leather, this is a vegetable tanned leather and it's full grain, so you get a lot of natural character. And we've been getting a lot of requests for a blue color. In fact, about a year or so ago, we had a prototype leather called Blue Rockford that people seem to really enjoy the color of. So we decided to make our most popular leather in that same blue color. And this is the result here. So you can see on the grain, very nice natural grain character and a very nice blue shade. It's a really vibrant blue. And this leather is also struck through, meaning that the cross section of it is also blue. So all of the edges of the wallet have that really nice royal blue color. And then we included this Capone with the royal blue on the inside as well. So this is the only Capone, the only Fat Herbie, and the only bugs that I currently have in this leather. We are planning to stock these early next year, but right now all of these would have to be made to order. So if you want one, I would suggest waiting, but if you really have to have it right away, we can have one made to order for you. All right, next up here is the Bugs Moran, also in that brand new Royal Blue Dublin. You can see that incredible burst effect down the spine here, and if I rub my finger over that revealed lighter shade, we can melt the waxes back into place and sort of make it look like the rest of the surface color here. So it's got a really great bursty pull-up effect underneath that wax layer on the surface. This is very much characteristic of all Dublin leathers, but on this blue color, it gives you a really dramatic contrast. So a little bit darker, more navy on the surface, and then the undertones of the color are a little bit lighter. This one on the inside, we also have more of this brand new Royal Blue Dublin. And then looking at the edges, you get that really nice blue cross section. And the last of the three brand new Royal Blue Dublin wallets, this is my favorite wallet style. I'm actually carrying one of these right now. Fat Herbie, Royal Blue Dublin. Of course, that great burst effect down the spine. A little bit darker in the larger sections of the wallet. And then we noticed something here when we started to stitch the wallet. Those lighter colors of underneath the wax start to reveal themselves a little bit around the edge. So you get this really interesting framed out look that we find particularly beautiful. We have that same look on the inside with more Royal Blue Dublin. All right, we have a lot of other stuff to show you today. I'm going to start off with a tall Herbie here. This is Western Whiskey Shell Cordovan, really dramatic color range and a dynamic color, the Western Whiskey. Some angles it's a little bit more brown, and other angles it is a little bit more yellow and vibrant. On the inside, we also continue the Western Whiskey Shell Cordovan all through the inside. And what's really interesting about the tall Herbies is you don't see any reverse shell anywhere. So it's a very clean and consistent look. We get to see the Western Whiskey on the outside as well as all throughout the inside. And the difference here on the tall Herbie is the bill slot goes all the way up to the top, which is a little bit different than our normal Herbie. And I have one more tall Herbie to show you. This one turned out very, very nicely. This is color number 4 Shell Cordovan, one of my all-time favorite Shell Cordovan colors. And you can see at some angles, or even as I spin it, it's a little bit darker and lighter. Another one of those dynamic colors here, the color 4. So some angles, a little bit more of a brown, and then other angles, more of these reddish sort of orangey tones come through. And it's really, really beautiful. So on a pattern piece like a tall Herbie here, we get to see a really large context of that leather. We got the same thing on the inside here. More color number 4 Shell Cordovan all throughout the inside. And of course, that tall version of the Herbie with the bill slot that goes all the way up to the top. And I've got a bunch of Fat Herbies to show you. Ooh, so heavy it shook the table. First up here is one of our fan favorite colors. This is Kia Green Shell Cordovan, a really nice mild green shade. And then we have cream stitching all throughout the outside. We also have that same Kia Green Shell Cordovan on the interior. And a couple spectacular Herbies here. This is color number 4 Shell Cordovan on raw natural Shell Cordovan. That's a really great combo, especially with the cream color stitching that we have all along the outside of the wallet. On the interior, we've got the same concept here. Color 4 on raw natural on the outside, and then color 4 and raw natural on the inside. These are our hidden card slots on the interior of this Fat Herbie. And here's another one with hidden card slots. We got green Shell Cordovan on top of raw natural again on the top here. And on the interior, same concept, green Shell Cordovan on top of raw natural, and a nice little Horween ink stamp peeking out. Getting a little funky here. This is all reverse with a really dramatic splatter on this Fat Herbie. Great Horween shell cordovan ink stamp. And then this one has red stitching all along the outside, which I think is a very nice look. On the inside, we've got that same look with the splattered shell. I think this is reverse denim blue shell cordovan. And the next few here are really nice. I really enjoy these. This is marbled ultraviolet shell cordovan. And you can see on the exterior right here, much lighter color, a little bit more of like a natural shell cordovan. Although if you look very closely, you can see little flecks of that ultraviolet color coming through. And that's because the layers of stain have been slowly scraped away. So we're revealing the lighter undertones of the leather, but we do still get a little bit of those accents of the ultraviolet. You can see a little bit better right here what I'm talking about. A little bit more of like a gradient of color from light to dark on the exterior of this marbled ultraviolet Fat Herbie. And on the inside, we have more marbled ultraviolet. All right, check out this guy. This is one of the coolest Fat Herbies that I've ever seen. This is psychedelic shell cordovan. You can see the range of color goes from a little bit of a green shade to more of a tan, down to a little bit more yellow and sort of magenta ultraviolet colors and everything in between. This is an absolute stunner of a piece of leather. And then on a large context of a Fat Herbie, makes it extra nice to see all that patterning. Here's a look at the inside of this Fat Herbie, where we have more really interesting pieces of psychedelic shell cordovan. And then you can see in the center here, this is the reverse side of that psychedelic, and it's a little bit more purple on the inside center with the Horween ink stamp. Here's another one of the ultraviolet family. This is all reverse ultraviolet with a perfectly cut Horween shell cordovan ink stamp right in the center here. Here's a look at the edges where we've also hand stained them the ultraviolet color. And then we've continued that reverse ultraviolet on the left and right card holders with ultraviolet shell cordovan in the center. So a minute ago, we had the tall Herbie in the Western whiskey. This is the normal Fat Herbie, also in Western whiskey shell cordovan. We've got a cream color stitching on the outside of this one, and then more Western whiskey shell cordovan on the inside. And here's another Herbie that just absolutely stunned me. This one is Epic Splatter Reverse Blue Shell Cordovan, and we have that incredible range of color from more of these aqua blue shades down to the lighter sort of tan color, a little bit more of like a natural color on the left. I really love the look of this wallet. It turned out great. And here's a look at the inside where we have more of that Epic Splatter Reverse Blue Shell Cordovan. This is not normal for what we see on the reverse side of Blue Shell Cordovan, which is why I think it's extra interesting. And two more Fat Herbies to look at here. Both of these are raw shell cordovan, and it will be a good opportunity for me to show you the difference between raw natural shell cordovan in my right hand as well as raw amaretto shell cordovan in my left. So you can see the raw amaretto shell is a little bit lighter than the normal amaretto shell cordovan. It kind of looks, if you were to look at it by itself, it kind of looks like raw natural. But there is a little bit more yellowy, sort of golden orange tones to this one. We also have raw amaretto on the interior of this. And now let's compare it side by side to the raw natural. So you can see the raw natural shell cordovan a little bit lighter, a little bit less of those yellowy sort of orangey tones. The other interesting thing about this particular piece of raw natural is it has this, you can do a little bit of a parlor trick here. So it's got a little bit of a line on the outside center, but if you spin this around, that line totally goes away, which is really, really neat. And I think this is because the fibers in the shell are pointing in one direction on each side of this line. And I believe that is done because of the shaving process that Horween does to expose the shell. So it looks like we hit a certain section of the shell that has created that little bit of a line, which is kind of funky. As you spin it around, it's more or less prominent. Here's a look at the inside, more raw natural shell cordovan. And I have a lot more stuff to show you. Hopefully we don't run out of time here. Psychedelic shell cordovan on a vertical card slot Bugs moran. This one is one of two. There's another that's got a little bit more of a subtle contrast. So let me show you the more dramatic one first. Lots of contrast from light to dark, a little bit more purple, orangey, a little bit of green in there. And on the inside, same color combination here. So let's pull up the other one. This one I noticed is a little bit more subtle, but there is that same color range from a violet to a green to an orange and all those colors in between. Here's a look at the interior, maybe a little bit more ultraviolet-y on this particular one. And I noticed on the photography when I was shooting photos, it's pretty hard to capture what this color looks like. And you can see as I spin it around, the color really changes a lot. So it's a pretty interesting leather, this psychedelic shell. People had been asking for it, so we provided. This is the tall Tony the Ant. People are also asking for the tall versions of the Fat Herbie, so we put those up too. Tall Tony here, raw denim shell cordovan on the exterior. We've got a nice cream color stitching. And on the interior, we've combined raw denim with raw natural, and then raw denim again in the center. Here's one more tall Tony the Ant. This is again that really beautiful piece of color number 4 shell cordovan. Some of the nicest cordovan that we have received is this color 4 here. So medium brown shade, a little bit of a reddish orange undertone. This one has a cream color stitching. And what tall Tony means is the bill slot goes all the way up to the top, so we don't have that exterior thumb notch that is usually right about here. And on the inside, more color number 4 shell cordovan. And this is what's great about the tall versions is we get continuous shell all through the outside and all through the inside. And here's another remarkable Tony the Ant. This is more of our traditional bill slot with the thumb notch on the outside. This is psychedelic shell cordovan. This one is a little bit more violet and green, and it is really, really neat looking. Check that out, and I'll try to spin it around to see if I can give you the range of color in this guy. Here's a look at the inside, more psychedelic shell cordovan, and the inside center is a little bit more of a green shade. And one more Tony the Ant to show you. This is raw denim on raw natural shell cordovan for the exterior, and then we have cream color stitching all through the border. And on the inside, same color combination here, raw denim shell cordovan on top of raw natural. And let me show you a few Vic snap wallets. We've got another denim blue shell cordovan Vic snap wallet here, and it's denim blue all throughout. It's just one continuous piece of leather. And here's another Vic snap wallet, green shell cordovan this time, and the green is a really nice vibrant green shade. In the past, we've done greens that were a little bit darker. These are very nice and vivid. Here's another one, ultraviolet shell cordovan. You can see the color change right before your eyes on this one, depending on what angle you look at it. And the last of the 4 Vic snap wallets, this is hatch grain shell cordovan in the classic color number 8. And I have 2 more of our traditional Bugs Moran to show you. This is violet shell cordovan, more of a true purple shade when you compare it to something like ultraviolet, and it's really, really beautiful. Here's a look at the inside, more violet shell cordovan. And speaking of ultraviolet, here is the ultraviolet shell cordovan. You can see this one's like a little bit more magenta at certain angles and less of that straightforward purple shade. Here's a look at the interior. I love this. This is reverse ultraviolet on the interior of this Bugs Moran. And let's move into some more of our minimalist card holders. We made a couple 3-shot card cases. The first one here is in psychedelic shell cordovan. Check that out. Really cool look on this psychedelic shell. And we have an additional card slot on the back, also with psychedelic shell. So 3-shot card case, there's a 1 larger card slot in the center, 1 in the front, and 1 on the back. Here's another 3-shot card case. This time it is in marbled ultraviolet shell cordovan all through the front, as well as on the back. And you might see a theme here with the 3 shots. This is also raw denim shell cordovan on raw natural, both on the front and on the back. And here's a really cool piece. Another 3-shot here. This is that epic splattered reverse denim, and we get to see that nice light tan shade right in the center. That's a really cool look. This one also has hand-stained blue edges, and on the back we have more of that splattered blue shell cordovan. Here's another one of that same combination. This time it is on the Frank the Enforcer. So raw denim shell cordovan on top of raw natural, on top of raw denim for the top. And on the back, this is what we've been calling the 5-card slot Frank the Enforcer. So the 1, 2, 3 on the front, 4, 5 on the back. And this one is the same color combination with the raw denim on top of raw natural. And one more Frank the Enforcer to show you. This time it is just straight up raw natural all over the place. And you'll notice as I spin this one around, watch this little card slot here. You'll notice that the color changes compared to the other ones there, just as you spin it around. And it's really, really fun to sort of spin these guys around and just look at the color change. So this is our traditional Frank the Enforcer. We have 2 card slots in the front and then 1 card slot in the back and this larger card slot in the center. The difference between the 2 shots and the Frank the Enforcer is the Frank the Enforcer will fit US dollars folded in half in that larger center section. All right, you thought I was wrapping up there, but we got a bunch of baseballs and I want to show you these very quickly. The first one here is reverse shell cordovan with that really nice Horween ink stamp, and then we have alternating blue and teal stitching all throughout this ball. Here's another one that I really like. This is psychedelic shell cordovan with the reverse psychedelic here, and this one has the Horween measuring machine stamp on it. This one is really cool, and it's really hard to capture this sphere in photos, but the psychedelic in this one is really nice. And I have a couple more baseballs to show you. This one here is extra, extra nice. I love this color 4 shell cordovan, and then we have the gold foil stamp on this guy, but it is all color 4 all throughout with those 2 gold foil stamps, Ashland on this side and the Horween shell cordovan on the back. A couple more we did with gold foil stamps. This is black shell cordovan this time. So we've got those same 2 stamps. And these 2 balls are very similar. Both of these are whiskey shell cordovan, also with the 2 gold foil stamps. You might be able to see the difference right away. This whiskey ball has a tan stitching, and this one has a red thread. Here's another fun ball. This is garnet shell cordovan this time, a little bit more of a red shade when compared to the color 4. And the last of the baseballs, this is garnet shell cordovan with western garnet shell cordovan, and you'll notice there are no stamps on this one at all. We also have this interesting purple stitching. And I have 3 more wallets to wrap up the private stock today. This is reverse amaretto sitting on top of amaretto shell cordovan, and this one also has an antique brass spring bar money clip in the center here. On the interior, we also have more reverse shell cordovan. Here's another fun one. I feel like we've seen a lot of blue shell cordovan today. This is inverted blue shell cordovan. So it's leather that has been flipped backwards. They actually finish it on the reverse side of the leather. So the drip marks end up on the smooth shell side. And if you look closely at this guy, I noticed this was pretty hard to capture in photos. But in person, this one has this really subtle color range from a little bit more of like an aqua blue to a green shade and all the colors in between. It's a pretty interesting look with some of those streaks of the blue drips. We also have a hand stained blue edge on this guy with cobalt blue Dublin on the interior. And the last one, I thought I'd save my favorite shell color for the end. And this is really special for me to see. It's very, very difficult for us to get leather that is thin enough to make 100% shell cordovan Johnny the Foxes. So this is a rare piece of amaretto shell cordovan on our Johnny the Fox all throughout the outside as well as on the inside, and it turned out really nicely. I just love the amaretto shell cordovan. This is my favorite shell cordovan color. It sort of has this range of color from a little bit more of an orangey tan, a little bit vibrant, and then other angles it gets a little bit more brown and these slight red tones come out. But on the interior, this is what is extra special. Not every piece of shell is the appropriate thinness to use for the inside of the Johnny the Fox. So if I fold this in half and let you look on the inside here, there's so many layers of leather on the inside of this wallet that it's very difficult for us to make one that is the appropriate thickness. And every shell is a little bit different. And in fact, the thin ones tend to be very rare. So it's really special for me to be able to see this more rare piece of shell cordovan. This color is rare as well as the thickness is rare, and we do have a couple of these available. So thanks for checking out everything in the video. If you have any questions about our brand new leather, this royal blue Dublin turned out really great. I'm really excited to be able to make some more stuff out of this and be really curious to see what you guys think of it. So if you have any questions about this new leather, please feel free to leave a comment, or maybe if any other questions, maybe about the video I put up yesterday from polishing all my boots. I had a lot of fun with that one. Please let me know. Until next time, hope you guys have a good one and take care.